70's not all that surprising.
No, it's not. It's not.
No.
It looks like a AAA title, but we were just saying, so how long is it going to be before a sale actually touches this one on Steam?
Looking at historical records of what things used to cost, games used to be as expensive as they are now. So, I'm not surprised.
It's actually surprising they lasted at 60 as long as they did.
Almost 40 years at $60 or more in some cases. Some prices have gone way down.
Yeah, just depending.
Well, as the tools have allowed singular people to make games, right? It pushes the prices down.
Doesn't mean I got to pay full price though. If I wait 2 months and pay it for 30% off,
No, I don't think you should, right? Like buy them from Blockbuster used. LOL.
Yeah, remember when Blockbuster was a thing?
Welcome to 1994.
$429. We were gamers. Hello. Welcome back to an episode of a podcast where JJ's here.
Hello.
Michael's here.
We're diving in.
Andy's here. And I wish Michelle Yeoh was here.
Bro.
For a long time, really wanted to meet Tom Hanks. That was like my number one. Like if I could meet any celebrity. And I think now she has taken over.
I mean, she's just been hitting home run after home run in her last few projects.
We saw that Wicked. And I know a lot of people are in it for the young stars. The Ariana Grandes. But she steals the show, if I'm honest.
I don't know about that.
Oh, interesting.
As
opinion of the Wicked.
As an also having seen Wickeder person.
Okay.
She's very good in it. I don't think she steals the show. I don't know. That's not how I would phrase it.
Surprise of the show.
Did you not know she was in it going in?
I did not.
Okay.
But I also did not, once seeing her, expect her to be so good in that role.
Have you seen the stage play?
I have.
Do you remember it?
Yes.
Okay. It's a fair question to ask because I didn't, because I saw it 15, 20 years ago.
Yeah.
That's probably like 8 for me. Yeah, it's been
relatively recently.
Yeah.
I mean, I have not seen it since, like I said, 15 or 20 years. So it's been a long time.
Yeah. What a fantastic movie, though.
I have a question for you and the Wicked inclined in your life. All of them have seen the play before?
The children had not. No.
Okay. What are they going to do for the second movie? All the stuff people remember is the first half of that play. Obviously, they're going to do the second half of the play, but
do they really only remember the first half of the play?
Do you remember what happens in the second half of the play?
I sure do, but I also read the book, so I have done both
book,
versions.
Very different.
Yes,
I think
which is why I remember. Kind of what goes around.
I read what happened in the book, and I was like, oh, and then we saw the play, and it was like, this isn't that. Oh, it's like,
nah,
not at all the thing.
Sure, I mean, it's just gonna. I wonder though, how do you end it? Everyone was so excited and happy at the end of this, right?
Mm-hmm.
How do you have a part 2 now? Mostly going to be a problem for bringing kiddos.
The end of Act 1 of Wicked is that Defying Gravity song. The lady flies around on the broomstick. It's like the big high note of it is the number one memory of everyone that I recall, like the most famous song from the entire play.
Mm-hmm.
The second most famous song is also in the first half, I think. And that's the Ariana Grande popular one, right?
Popular. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Both of those are in the first half. What do you do for a musical in the second half? I guess, there are reprises of all these songs, but I just don't remember any standout songs from the second half. I must just not be remembering.
There's definitely still songs in the
I mean,
second.
there's a whole second act. Like there must be. I'm just saying I don't remember any of them, and I
There's that big
clearly
song.
remembered the plot of this entire movie.
There's As Long as You're Mine.
Yeah, that I was just about to mention. That was like there's the big Fiero Elphaba song.
Yep.
In the second half.
Yeah. Okay.
I couldn't remember.
Sure, because I remember how that goes. So there has to be a big. Yeah. Anyway, I don't mean to turn this into the Wicked cast, but again, not having seen it in a super long time, not having like much memory of the play coming into this, I was like, well, everything I remember about the play has been done now. What the hell are they doing for the second half?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I enjoyed it. I had a good time. I think that's a fair assessment of the movie.
I'm happy that this is a podcast that can enjoy, pop culture stuff. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Like we don't have to be pigeonholed into like not talking about going out and seeing Wicked is what I'm saying. Like, it's the gamers podcast.
Normally the reason we pigeonhole ourselves into that is because certain other members of this podcast don't have time to go out and see current event movies.
Hey guys, what you doing?
I don't know. Andy and Michael.
He's talking to me. He's talking to me also.
I'm talking to both of you. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
No shade. You guys got lives. I get it. But it's like, I'm happy to talk current movies. Just
I like that we all managed to, Michael still hasn't seen it, but managed to see it in the same weekend.
I saw it a couple weekends ago, right?
Oh, no, it's only been out 2 weeks, so you saw it last weekend then, huh?
I saw it at some point. I don't know when, but yes, I've seen it.
Yeah. Very good. The live singing was noticeable in some parts. I think they did some trick editing because there's a few parts where it's like, the mouth doesn't match, but
of course they did. Like anyone who thinks they didn't do that is a fool. This isn't a stage production. Like why would you not take advantage of it?
Of using the live singing. They did a good job of it, for sure. Yeah,
and they also do the thing that the stage production absolutely cannot do, which is make a bunch of insane CGI sets and have them fly all over the country and have like stuff look really cool. So
I had to laugh a little bit at the CGI. They one ringed the cape.
Yeah,
it's like 7 different sizes. It just keeps getting bigger. It was really funny to me. But it does that in the play, as far as I remember. As she goes up into the sky, the cape becomes like as long as the stage.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, sure does.
As I recall that, because they used it to hide the lift. But it was funny that they translated that in the film to just letting the cape grow exponentially with CGI.
A funny story I will tell. The production of Wicked that I saw, the person on the broom did not go up. It didn't work. The lift, you could see that the actress standing there uncomfortably during the beginning of the song while they were like futzing with stuff, and then eventually she just waved her hands and then stepped forward and did not defy gravity.
Hey man, the show must go on.
Yeah, exactly. And they did the song and it was good. The person sang her heart out and it was great, but only later did I learn it's she's supposed to fly up during that part. I was like, oh, huh, okay.
I'll tell a funny story here. Years ago, I was working on a show, and there's a moment where little community theater, and there's a moment where one of the characters is supposed to try and storm off stage, and one of the other characters is supposed to run across the stage, beat her to the door, and spin around and throw his back against it to keep her from leaving the room. And this is probably the next to the last show that we were doing. He runs across the stage a little too hard, spins around, throws his back against the door, and tears the hinges off the frame, and he and the door go flying off stage.
That's hilarious.
That's great physical comedy.
There's just a moment where there are only 2 other people on stage, and there's just this silent moment where the audience is processing what's just happened, and the 2 actors on stage are just what do we do? When all they want to do is just burst out laughing, but the scene has to continue.
Right.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So yeah, things out of your control happen on in live theater.
Very good. Things out of the control happen in all sorts of live events.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's time to talk about F1.
Yeah. You're going to make a real world champion move here? Is that what you're trying to do?
I'm gonna sneak around from the outside,
Spin you around?
spin you into the wall.
Ah. I
Michael,
love it.
they're all children.
What went down?
They're all children is what went down.
The season is over, so you won't have to hear us complain about this, or
For
talk
3
about the
months,
drama for
95 days, 94 days.
a few months until they start hiring and firing drivers again.
Yeah.
Turn 1, lap 1.
Oh, right out the gate.
Do you remember the setting for the incident? Or
No, you set it up. Go ahead.
so McLaren, who is fighting to win the championship and the last race, they're ahead, but they need Ferrari to stay behind them by some number of points. They secure a front row lockout, so they have 1 and 2 on the grid.
They need to keep both cars behind at least one of their cars, I think was the math.
Right. If all of their cars, or if any of their cars finish ahead of both of the Ferrari cars, they're guaranteed to win, regardless of whatever else happens.
Okay.
But they have 2. They're 1 and 2, so that's like really good. I think.
Yeah.
I think the best thing that led up to this was no one's talking about what could possibly happen with McLaren, because everyone's talking about Verstappen and Russell all week, and no one sees this coming.
And Verstappen and Russell are Russell is 3rd and Verstappen is 4th.
Yeah, they're right next to each other, of course.
And all week there had been jawing after a specific incident in qualifying where Verstappen had done something. He slowed down unnecessarily or something at some point.
He was on a slow lap, and the steward said he was moving unnecessarily slowly on his slow lap, and Russell accused him of moving across the track to block Russell's fast lap. It
wasn't even his fast lap, like to block him on his warm-up lap, which is like not a thing because your time in your warm-up lap doesn't matter.
Right. So there's like a non-thing, and there even was radio communication that someone leaked that's like people saying like Verstappen's ahead of you and going slow.
Yeah.
Multiple times.
And then Russell gets on the radio after he passes Verstappen. He was going too slow. We should,
penalty. That's a penalty.
That's a penalty. He blocked me. And
this is all baloney because everyone's trying to. This is the big race, right? It matters where people place really, really a lot because of millions of dollars, depending on constructors, etc.
Except for Max, who has already won the drivers' championship and can't help his team really. So, other than they're obviously insane competitors and want to win everything, but like he really has nothing to play for here. And so he gets a penalty. The typical punishment for this is a 3-place grid demotion. But the stewards, in light of circumstances or something, give him 1 place. So basically, like, he switches spots with Russell. And then, like, he just lays into him in the press for the rest of the weekend.
Oh, and Russell came out and was like, Verstappen said he's going to crash me out. Verstappen's a bully. We all have to stand up to Verstappen. It's like, dude.
Yeah,
calm down.
Verstappen was like, "Oh, I lost respect for him," and Russell was like, "This guy is the literal devil." And you're just like, "Okay, I don't know, you guys. Like, I think this is a bit. And so the race, like I said, McLaren locks out the front row. Verstappen and Russell are just behind. Turn 1, lap 1. What happens? Verstappen runs Piastri in front of him off the road and spins him around at like a top. Also, I mean, hitting him and also spinning himself. Like half the way, sends Piastri all the way to the back, and himself, like, he loses 10 or 12 positions or something.
Mm-hmm.
He ends up facing the correct way, and Piastri is facing the wrong way, I think. And so he gets going faster, and so he's able to sort of recover quicker.
Okay.
Recovered quicker by a few more places. Yeah.
Yeah. And Piastri's radio call is, "That was a real world champion move right there."
Ooh. Ooh. Whole lot of salt there.
Just the most shade.
It makes it 10 times better, because then the whole race you're like, well, Norris has to beat 2 Ferraris now. And he doesn't get help from his teammate. And there's big old rumors that Piastri's headed to Red Bull.
I don't believe any of those rumors. That is not happening.
You don't think they're gonna race Perez next year after everything? I don't think so.
No. It's gonna be Lawson probably.
Oh man,
I know, it's like the lamest choice.
It should be Yuki.
He's gonna be Yuki, right?
No, it should not be Yuki.
It should be Yuki. It'd be so much more fun than either of those two choices.
It'll just be the same thing as having another Russell up front.
They don't want Piastri. Piastri has too much smoke. He'd be too close to good. Max doesn't want that. Max doesn't want a guy that's going to make him look bad potentially and beat him sometimes. That's not what he wants. He wants a guy who's clearly second place. But just not that second place. He wants like second, not 10th, like Perez.
He wants a Bottas, right?
Yeah, exactly. Not really in danger to ever beat Lewis, but he's always
ready to drive right behind him.
Right behind you, buddy. Yeah. So anyway, and then
did you see that that Bottas, like, in his retirement, like, woke up some day after this race and decided to just run an Ironman in his own house?
He's an insane athlete. He did, I think during the season one time, like in the middle of a week or something, did like some 100-mile off-road bike race. So it's not just like you're bike racing over like streets or whatever. It's like gravel and dirt and stuff. And he just like did it and then flew back to Finland or whatever, and then back to wherever in the F1.
Sure,
I saw a very funny series of things. So a lot of people have been throwing shade at Russell and Verstappen all week, basically, like tons and tons of videos coming out about them just making fun of them. And I think the funniest one was Lando Norris, who ended up winning this race, answering a question. Like, it was one of those dumb, like, driver interview questions. It's like, what type of chocolate do you like? And he's like, oh, I love Kinder Eggs. That's Lando Norris. And everyone's like, awesome. We love you, Lando. And then it's Russell, and it's like, what type of chocolate do you like? He's like, I'm an athlete. Athletes do not snack on chocolate. And it was like, oh, God.
I thought someone was going to say any chocolate but Dutch chocolate or something. Just like, Russell's answer is, of course, what he would say, though. He seems like the epitome of like a rich jerk. Like,
again, I will tell this story till I die. The best scene of convincing me that he was never going to be a driver that I would root for was watching him eat sushi on Drive to Survive with a knife and fork.
What?
No.
Oh my God. Is that all right? Hold on. Court is convened.
Put the wig on, JJ. Grab the gavel.
Here's the gavel.
Convicted.
Court's in session. He's in jail. All right, we're good. All right, close it out. Yeah.
I have to find a picture of it. Oh man.
Does he have, where was he raised? Is he British?
He is 100 very percent British. Yeah.
Of course.
Oh, here we go.
Man.
Oh no, the only version of it I can find is on TikTok. No.
Well,
I don't want to click.
The,
I don't want to
the,
click a TikTok link.
the other very funny one, there's a tradition after the season ends that all the drivers go out to dinner together. They have like one big driver dinner.
Yes.
And then they pose for a photo. I don't know who posted the photo originally. I think maybe it was Lando also. And, it's just a big picture of all the drivers there. And they are all there smiling, and taking a picture, behind a big dinner table. And Lando says, the yearly tradition or whatever. And then he says, yes, the two you're thinking of were sat as far apart as possible. It's just like,
I saw very funny. Michael, you would appreciate the people were overlaying that picture with that scene from The Bear, the Christmas dinner scene from The Bear.
oh yes.
Oh man, all the way through the car crashing through the wall, etc.
Yeah, absolutely.
Very, very good.
yeah.
Very good.
So what was your overall takeaway of the season, Andy?
McLaren is an awesome team. It's too bad that they're owned not in England anymore. I wish they were still in UK, English, New Zealander team. I could feel a little more pride.
Yeah.
Ferrari, strong showing at the beginning and end of the season. Amazing.
Yeah.
Mercedes sticking around somehow, and Red Bull falling off like a major towards the end. I wonder how much of that is driver trouble. You know what I mean? Like, how bad is the car all of a sudden towards the end? Nico Hulkenberg coming out of retirement and like killing it this season.
How much is it Adrian Newey leaving and then all of a sudden their car development sucking? Right?
Yeah, where's he going to be next year?
Mercedes,
Aston Martin.
Right? Aston Martin, I think.
I don't want to root for Aston Martin. Stroll.
Yeah, I know. I hear you.
I mean, it's nice that I don't know. It's a Canadian, I guess.
They're not going to do anything next year either, I don't think. Their whole play is 2026. They're going to try and win, right? That's the whole deal.
All the rules change in 2026, Michael, on motors mostly.
Yep.
Yeah, engine rules, aerodynamics rules, like the sport will be not unrecognizable, but like the cars maybe. It's hard to say.
Cars are going to look insane.
Active aero is coming in. Like, it's going to be wild.
The cars are going to look crazy. It's going to be cool. Kick Sauber leaving is probably a very good thing.
Yeah. I mean, no one is going to mourn them changing their name to Audi. I just hope that the team isn't also... I hope they actually just fire all the people and have a different staff, because the team seems really bad.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know, man.
But hey, are you
this
excited
season
for
might
Cadillac?
have weird
Cadillac joining now, right? All of a sudden?
Yeah. Is Cadillac, who's going to be the owner of the Cadillac team? Did we actually get clarification on that?
They have named a team principal.
Who's that?
Some guy I'd never heard of. You wanted Gunter Steiner, and that was not happening.
No, I don't need another Gunter.
Yeah, he's some guy who used to be a team principal of like Alpine or something 10 years
Here's
ago
the thing.
or something.
They're going to run Ferrari engines, so they're basically just another Ferrari team. So now we've got, 4 Ferrari teams on the grid?
No, because who is stopping using Ferrari engines next year or 2 years from now? Ferrari is not increasing the number of engines they have to make. It's staying the same. I forget. Some team is stopping, and they're like basically giving their engines to Cadillac.
Ram Loden, British man, former chief executive of Virgin and Marussia Formula One teams.
Oh, Marussia. Yeah, wow, that's not a good.
Yeah,
that's not a good comparison. You don't want to be.
Yeah.
Don't want to
So
be
Cadillac coming out strong.
Yeah, he can be the team principal for the years they're not on the grid. They get on the grid, they hire someone else.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
Who knows? But
I don't know. This season may have made me into an accidental Ferrari fan. Although I do love the McLaren drivers a lot.
I am weirdly happy every time like you see Norris or Piastri win because you're like, oh yeah, good for them. Good job, those
good for
boys.
those guys.
Those cute little guys. Yeah. Even though they're like 27. It's not like boys.
You gotta love how good Verstappen is. I mean, you just have to love watching him drive. If you like watching someone drive, he's such an amazingly capable driver. It's kind of scary.
I think that race in the wet, whenever that was, 2-3 races ago,
like 1, 2, 3,
in Brazil,
4 races ago. Brazil, yeah, 4 races ago.
It just shows he's just better than maybe everyone. Like it's a torrential downpour. People are slip sliding all over the damn track, and he's like, okay, and he passes every damn person on the track from like almost last to first. And it's like not a contest. He's just fine. Like he has grip and all the other cars are on oil.
Yeah.
Like he's just better. And
crazy.
You can't, that's undeniable. That's all skill.
It just shows you like Kevin Magnussen's known as like an elbows out driver, right? It's impossible to get past Magnussen. He's so defensive and he's always like 16th. So people are getting past him, right? But you really want to see an elbows out driver. It's a guy that won't stay in the back of the pack even after it's like I've got nothing to race for, and I lost 10 places on the first turn. But I'm still gonna end in 6th.
Yeah, where did he finish this race after he crashed on the first lap? Right, like he still ended up in like 5th or something. Yeah,
6th. Yeah, right behind Russell, who didn't have a crash and finished 2 places down.
And got passed by Hamilton on the last lap.
Oh, yes. That was so good. Like, here's my last little goodbye present to you, Mercedes.
Yeah. Oh, like, and also, like Lewis passed him on merit. It wasn't like Russell like gave him the position or anything. Like Lewis was faster than him all race, and it was just a matter of when, not if.
Yep. Very good. It was a good season. I think
from the way it started,
in doubt was great.
I think from the way it started, I was super worried this was going to be like a Red Bull dominance year again, right?
Mm-hmm.
And no, it turned into like a very exciting season, actually. So, yeah, real happy.
Well, the season is also heating up in Rantasy Football. I think we should just do it early today.
The playoffs.
Get all this.
I was going to say the season has wrapped up. We are in the postseason.
Yeah, fantasy postseason, correct. We should talk about your normal postseasons before we talk about all the weird things going on with my postseason. JJ, though, do we play taps now?
You win enough times and you live long enough to see yourself become the villain or whatever it is. I don't know.
The loser.
The guillotine eventually comes for us all, and it came for me this week, unfortunately. Third place out of 16. I can't be too mad.
No, I mean that is still very impressive.
I mean, in a normal playoff, anything could happen in the playoffs, right? You could have been the best all season and lost the first week.
Yeah, I mean, I needed to survive one more week, right? If I'd survived this week, I would have been guaranteed second.
Yeah.
And like this week is the last match of the league. So, did about as well as I could. Just unfortunate this week, like so many of my players did nothing. Like it was just a horrible week for multiple different people on my team. And you can't have that when there's only 3 people in your league and you can pick almost every player. Like you need to have them all produce. So,
wow.
C'est la vie. I am in the playoffs in my other league though. So we are still alive there. 7-7 record was enough to get in. We take it.
Oh man. Our league ended up with, let's see, hold on. League home? Is that where the standings are? Yeah. 13-1, 9-5, 9-5, 8-6, 8-6, 7-7, 7-7. And the 7-7s did not get in.
Yeah, so we have 6 playoff spots in a 10-team league, and even still one of our 7-7 teams didn't make it.
Yeah, so how many spots do you have, Michael? Because we have 4, and that needs to be talked about.
Yeah, it's a horrible system.
Yeah, so mine are both 6. Yeah,
six is okay, I feel.
Well, one of them's a 10-team league,
which is what I'm in, and I feel 6 is fine.
Yeah, and the other one is 12. So
and that's
top
fine.
Top half of the field.
When I was in a 12 league, 6 was fine there. Also, I feel 4 in a 10 just feels really rotten.
Yeah,
4 and a 12.
That's double rotten.
That's even worse.
Yeah, it feels bad, but the system is that way because there's not enough time. Because each round of the playoffs is 2 weeks long.
Dude, what? You are in a league.
I remember this from last year.
By like, someone pulled numbers and ideas out of a hat. What is this? I've never heard of someone that plays like this. What?
Yeah, it's crazy, right? Sounds kind of nuts.
Bonkers stuff I've ever heard of.
Yeah, so playoff round 1 is NFL week 15 and 16.
That is a horrible system because now
and that means, the championships are
week 17 and 18 when a bunch of teams rest all their players.
So if you have a team that has been dominating all season and their NFL team is going to the playoffs, then you are boned during the last week of this league. And you could lose to a worse team.
Andrew, I think that this is not a could. This is a will. You need to have backup players right now.
Yeah, I've been staring at the waiver wire trying to figure out who is going to play and who isn't going to play in the following couple weeks. You know, what their team's records are, etc.
Well, your Bills players, probably not. Your Chiefs players, probably not.
Interestingly, I have no Bills and no Chiefs.
So you're okay there. But a lot of other teams are going to be on the bubble for a bit. But in the next week or two, most of that should get sorted.
Well, we also have players that are going to be on teams that are so bad that they're going to start shutting down players. Like,
there's the other side, right?
Your Jets, your Raiders, your... Who else is in that bubble? The Bengals, if they lose one more, I think.
Yeah.
Because like losing Burrow or Jamar Chase would be the end of someone's fantasy season. Those guys are an entire team by themselves.
I need Tampa Bay to lose a game so they still have playoffs to do.
Yeah, they're still ahead, right? But I think they aren't locked in yet. I think if they win one more, they are.
Yeah, Baltimore. I need them not to get locked in yet.
Yeah, some of those teams have soft schedules coming up too.
Yeah, it's gonna be an interesting finale here. 2 weeks to go.
How's it looking for you, Michael?
Let's see. So in 1, I slid into the playoffs in 5th. So that league, the cutoff was also 7-7. There were 3 teams who made that line, and 2 made it in. So it came down to points 4. So I'm up this weekend, and then the second league, I lost my first place spot in this past weekend. Identical 10-4 records, but he edged me out on. I say edged me out. The points for differential is like 200 points.
Sheesh.
But I was leading that league with one of the smallest points fours all season, so not terribly surprising.
If we want to talk about points for, you know who has the most points for in my league? It's me in 5th.
In 5th in the league, you made the playoffs?
Yeah, a 7-7 record. Most points for by not that many actually. I'm only most by like 20 from the guy below me. And then it's then it's like between 50 more in the top 3. So, it's not like a huge spread at the top. But I am clear.
I'm the exact same way in my league where I'm in 5th. I have points for by like 80 points.
I have points for by over 100. The problem with scoring so much points all season is that means your points against are very low comparatively.
You know what's funny, actually? The team that's in 3rd place has the most points against in my league.
I mean, it can happen.
Yeah.
I've definitely been part of a season when I had most points against and I was struggling to make the playoffs. And it was like, I have the most points for, and I'm in 6th place because I have the most points against.
Yeah. I mean, I have the most. Oh, no. The only person with more points against than me is the person in dead last.
It's just how it goes sometimes, you know?
Yeah. So that's where the 7-7 comes from, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
There's no, it's feast or famine. There's no in between.
Famine. Well, I was watching a movie show today, and they were talking about famine, so we can switch to that.
Okay.
Interesting development in the Netflix subtitles genre, drama. So last time I was talking about Delicious in Dungeon.
Yes.
Right.
I finished that. They're not starving. However, my previous description of how Netflix's subtitles work might be incorrect or might be show specific. Unclear. I watched another show that I've been wanting to watch. It's been on my list. Vinland Saga. It's a Viking story about finding America, I guess. Or
also animated, I believe.
This is an anime, a Japanese anime, correct? Also based on a manga, just like Delicious in Dungeon. Did my normal thing, tried to watch it in Japanese with subtitles, try to watch it in English, see which one we like better. This one, the English dub gets the grade over the Japanese, in my opinion.
Okay.
A lot more fluid discussions, gets to the same points. But there was a selection on the bottom of the screen that said English with subtitles, not English and then go to the subtitles and turn them to on, which is what was the case with Delicious in Dungeon. This had a separate option that said English with subtitles, and the subtitles were the same as the Japanese subtitles. So they weren't matching the characters' words, unlike at Delicious in Dungeon.
Oh, interesting.
Very strange. Very
It
strange.
It must be by show then, just like they produced it this way for this show for some reason.
Yeah, very, very weird. So some shows will be that way and some shows will be others, and you're going to have to experiment. But if you watch Vinland Saga, I think the English dub is perfectly all right. Perfectly all right. Speaking of perfectly all right, are all things all right in COTC land over there, Michael? I heard we might have heard that some people are still alive that have disappeared from the face of the planet.
Yes, reports of Dan's demise have been greatly exaggerated.
Okay.
When we last left our heroes, you'll remember the last tavern talk was the one where they dropped, I guess back in September now, they dropped there would be no tavern talk in October due to scheduling conflicts.
Yeah.
Well, apparently
quote unquote.
Right. The scheduling was finding time for Square Enix and NetEase to get down and discuss the future of the game. So, but
we had a scheduling conflict of our meeting of selling this game.
Right. But yeah, so Dan today posted to the COTC Discord. Didn't he's a community manager, so he's not going to comment on the NetEase situation in any sense. But he did answer a question that I have seen a lot of people raise. It's one that I had myself, and so he wanted to chime in and say that non-expiring items, things like Traveler's Sacred Seals, memory fragments, paw prints, Cape Merchant notes, will all be carried over into the new version. So
I want to know if Dan's going to be carried over into the new version.
I mean, he's a Square Enix employee, so I think he's going to be carried over into the next community to manage.
Oh, bummer.
So Dan is alive, but Limit, he's dead, right?
Limit is
nowhere
limit. Oh man, there was a good Wicked joke there.
We are unlimited.
Yeah, There it is. Thank you.
I got you. Yeah, Limit is probably still crying over his poor pulls.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
They know. Good to know they're not dead, but I assume that's a like the company feels the furor has died down enough to allow them to resume benign community activities
for 1 month before they either get laid off or move to another game.
Assuming they are not commenting on anything they're not supposed to, right?
Right.
Well, I think people's excitement over things moving towards the new services hit a new phase, which is good. Sounds like.
I think the number one things, like a couple of the things I'm interested in are like, what are they going to do with the elite fragments? Because I think none of the other servers have that.
No, I don't believe they do.
What are they going to do with the like characters? Are we migrating to like the SEA server basically, or are our characters going to change to be like the SEA ones? So some of whom have buffs that we don't have, right? Or changes,
Yeah, I think in most cases, compared to the SEA, that we have the buffs.
Right. So that would be another concern, right? Is like, well, are they going to like nerf our characters, quote unquote, to be like the other ones?
Yeah, I feel like you don't want to launch your new service to a crowd of torch and pitchfork wielders. So my money's on them not touching it.
Yeah, so then it would really just be like they take the server we're on and they hand the keys of it to NetEase effectively.
I think so.
Which is of course fine with us. So then really nothing changes on our end except that they just continue to bring the new content over and maybe fiddle with prices or something probably. So, I think that's like pretty good. I would hope that they choose to do something with the stupid elite fragments because they're annoying. But
yeah, I mean, just let us use them on something. I don't know.
Yeah, put something else into that exchange, please.
I mean, they're also going to have to take Prom out of jail. I don't.
Yeah, I did. I saw a few people speculating on that. Are they just going to leave him there and make it a global only purchase, or does he go into the pool and they refund what people spent to get him?
No. I can't answer that question. No refunds.
Yeah, they got early access to Prom, I guess. Is the way you say that?
Yeah. I imagine he gets dumped into the pool. That's crazy. Speaking of taking a dunk in the pool, did you have you cooled off your competitors for the crown there, JJ?
Certainly sent some of them down to the cool down pool for sure. Yeah, I'm progressing pretty quickly through the game at this point now. I've definitely
Metaphor ReFantazio.
Yeah, we're talking about metaphor. Magical elections are pretty interesting.
Magical elections?
Well, it's a magical election. It's not just a normal election.
Okay.
Remember we talked about the floating face of the king in the sky, like the whole.
We did. Yeah.
That's
very. What's that game? Katamari.
You're thinking of Majora's Mask?
Oh yeah, sure.
Very Majora's Mask coded.
Okay.
But it turns out that magical elections are different than normal elections because magic is involved. So,
sure.
I can't say the stuff that's cool that's happening because it's like massive story spoilers. So I don't really want to go down that road.
Mm-hmm.
But I will say I've really continued to enjoy the like job system they have here. The archetypes are super interesting. They are like the options you have switching between them and like transferring your skills back and forth. Just really let you go completely wild with how you customize your characters, which is just really fun. And everyone can be everything. There's not like there are some gates, like you can't just immediately switch someone into some other class. But it's really not hard to do once, you've gotten going for a while. And it is like really cool to like not have to, be forced to use party members in certain ways if you don't want to.
I just love that games have given up on me. Like, well, this character has to be in this rough class of person. Like, oh, this person's really good at magic. They're stuck there forever.
And, like maybe if you want to play optimally or whatever, that still is there. But there is definitely nothing stopping you from respeccing the knight character into a magic user. And in fact, one of her max level classes requires you to have a bunch of levels in the mage stuff. So hopefully you did do that.
Very cool.
So it's been cool, man. I'm really digging it. I've been fighting dragons. What else have I been doing? There was a cult. Got rid of a cult. Cults are bad.
Generally speaking,
I think we can all agree.
I haven't heard good things about those.
Yeah, and they do some cool stuff with the storylines with the characters. It's not all Persona-like stuff, which I thought was cool. So, like the fact that it's not in high school really allows them to do a lot more. It feels so.
Yeah, adult characters. You can have them do adult things.
Yeah.
Nice. I currently also trying to save my friends. Well, I did save my friends. The 5 friends. I remembered being in the big Gerudo Rift, but I guess I was in the smaller of the big Gerudo Rifts. I saved those people, so now I can go to the other one.
What people, man?
So what's my Try's friends? I don't know what you call Try's friends. Okay. The fairies. I guess they're fairies.
You got some little orbs.
Yeah, I got orbs. Okay. JJ, I've been finding upgrade materials for my stuff. Should I be running back to upgrade that stuff, or do I not need to worry about it that bad?
You're going to keep finding upgrade materials for your stuff.
I know, but like,
there's a fast travel system.
Yeah. So, like, should I be upgrading that stuff? Does it really matter? It doesn't seem like I need it.
This game isn't difficult. So if you're not having trouble, I don't think you need to worry about it. But there is no other use for them other than upgrading your stuff. So if you want to upgrade your stuff, you could use it for that. If you don't, you don't have to.
The only trouble I've been having so far, is it really as bad as it feels to fight the Re-Dead?
They really suck because they just like make you freeze in place while they yell, and then you have to stand there while they do stuff. It's really annoying.
There's no secret echo that I'm not using correctly to deal with them?
I think there are ways around their scream.
Yeah.
If you have certain echoes, or you are creative, I'll say. Do you want me to tell you the thing?
I mean, I just shoot them from afar with the rolling guy right now.
Yeah, that's okay. I mean, there are other ones that work just as well for that, but yes, not getting near them is the number one easiest option.
Get them from afar, Z target them, and hit them with something from far away.
I think you can hide in a pot.
But hiding in a pot doesn't get me anywhere.
But it does protect you from their yelling.
I see. But I can't move the pot.
I didn't say it was like going to fix all your life's problems. I just told you it's to prevent you from being stunned.
Fair enough.
Couldn't you... I don't know if it works in this game, but I'm thinking back to Ocarina of Time. Couldn't you set them on fire?
Andrew would have had to go to a place that has fire in order for him to have any echoes with that.
Not true.
You got an echo that makes fire?
I have that little candle echo. I guess I could try throwing the candle echo at it.
You mean like the actual, like... Do you have a monster that sets things on fire? Or do you have
a monster that looks like a little blobby candle.
Oh, okay. You have the fire blob. Yeah, you could set him on fire with that.
Oh, I never even thought about them being flammable.
It's not the fastest way to do anything, but I think it works. There are many monsters of various element types that you'll run into eventually. A lot of the other element types are also very good against them, but you don't have any of those. I know because you're not far enough into the game.
Yeah, I need to pick up the pace, but this is a time of year that gets very busy.
Oh yeah, total understanding. I'm just like you were saying like I saved the 5 friends, and I'm like, what is he talking about? I'm like, I don't even. I've played this whole game.
It's such a small piece of the game to you at this point, I'm sure.
Bro, you are going to do that exact same thing in Rifts exactly like that, like 20 more times before the end of this game. They don't even register as friends to me. They're just like, get orb, must get orb.
Get orb. Yeah, very funny.
So, yeah. Spoiler alert, I guess. There's gonna be more of Try's little dudes that you have to help.
Yeah. Well, what's the next thing? What's on our agenda the next way? I think I teased component class. I did get the components, but I have not had time to open the components.
Class is not in session then.
So class is not yet in session, but if people wanted to get ready for class, we're going to talk about keyboards.
Cool.
Here we go.
Yeah. There maybe was some good deals on the Black Fridays on keyboards. You know?
Nice.
Those things are around. Oh shoot. Where did I put it? This is going to get edited out, I guess, because I had an email that I thought I was going to read, and then I misplaced it. Which account is it in, JJ?
We tell people to email us to podcast@weweregamers.com. That is podcast@weweregamers.com. That's where you should email us.
Oh, and also, where else can they now find us? While I'm also continuing to try and get into the other email account.
And I don't know why he's not in the podcast@weweregamers email account. But we are also on Blue Sky. You can find us on Blue Sky @weweregamers. We're on there. Check us out.
Yeah, we're slowly figuring these things out.
We should be posting our stuff on there. I don't know how to do that.
I don't know how to do that yet. Yeah.
Got to figure out how to make that automated. Yeah.
Oh, here it is. Alex sent us an email that I probably should have brought up during the food crimes mini segment, but here it is. We'll end the day with another.
Court open, and we convicted that guy so fast that there was no time. There were no hearings.
There was no hearing. Yeah. Poll of the day from November 2024 on GameFaqs. They had 6,000 responses. Is a hot dog a sandwich, you guys? Absolutely not. Took the lowest total with 5% of the vote. Next lowest total of the vote is I don't know. I'd never thought about it before with 12%. Of course it is. It's got a piece of bread and meat is also 12%. No, a hot dog is not a sandwich, 30%. And technically yes, but don't call it one, 40% of the vote. So if you email us,
the best kind of correct.
Yeah. Technically correct, but you all sound wrong. 40% of the vote is like America 2024, probably.
Well, no, but I think the important thing is that means 60% of people have a different opinion, right? It's like 40% say technically yes, but I don't call it that. And then 60% of people think something other than that.
Okay, so if you add the 40% and the 12%,
you still have a majority, just barely, that think it's a sandwich.
Because there was another yes, but did the yeses vote together, or did they vote Green Party?
That's what I'm saying, man.
Yeah. Who bands together in this vote? That's what they should have done, right? Is ranked choice voting in this scenario.
I think more interesting than ranked choice voting here, because this is a stupid internet poll, so like it doesn't matter. But the more interesting would be demographics information. Is like, who is saying this?
Mm-hmm.
like, are these like terminally online Gen Z people?
I don't know.
Or is this like brain rotted millennials or like boomers? Right? Like, that's what I want to know.
7,000 GameFaqs users. So probably like older millennials, right?
Yeah, I'm thinking GameFaqs is not the hottest spot for Gen Z and younger.
You know, they have polls like, have you ever played the original Tekken? You know? And there are 3 options for yes somehow.
What?
Have you ever played the original Tekken? Yes, I played it in an arcade. Yes, I played it on PlayStation. Yes, I played it in a compilation or mobile release. Never the original, but I have played a Tekken. No, I've never played Tekken at all.
Okay.
Okay.
I might bookmark this for later use. So thank you to Alex, and see what happens when you send us an email. We talk about it. So podcast at wewergamers.com, Blue Sky. Keep us in your thoughts as we try to figure out Blue Sky.
Really, the posting part is easy. The issue is automating it with the rest of our stuff. Yeah.
Automated would be very nice.
It's easy for us to post stuff to other social media platforms. It would be nice if we could easily post it to Blue Sky as well.
I'm sending an email to Squarespace as I speak.
Yeah, that would be really helpful.